the channel, welcome to the vlog. This is Car Connections. As always, make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification button. What I present to you today is my all-new 2021 Porsche Taycan. Now, what is Porsche Taycan? Taycan, basically, they rolled out this car back in 2020, and it's basically Porsche's version of electrification. So this is Porsche's answer basically to Tesla. There's different levels of Porsche Taycan. This is the rear wheel drive model, also known as the base model for Porsche. It's not the S and it's not the turbo. This car literally clocks in 0 to 60 roughly around 5 seconds. Some folks have tested it, because Porsche does tend to minimize power and range. But regardless, you're looking at around high fours, maybe low fives. So it's not really all about the power on this electric car, unlike Tesla. It's more of the refinement and what you get from Porsche in other aspects, such as driving. Now, one thing I can tell you about Porsche so far and own it, and I've only had this car roughly for about a week, I can hit the biggest checkbox of all. And some of you guys might want to challenge me, but I challenge you to go out there and test drive a Porsche if you can. And one thing I can tell you about this car, it is by far the best handling car I've ever owned. It's just Porsche. At first I thought it was a lot of hype. I've driven a lot of cars that have really good handling. The Alfa Romeo Giulia Quattrofoglio, Camaro ZL1 1LE with the handling, the GT500 track, really, really good handling. And they all, again, do very, very well. But by far, of all cars I've ever owned, when it comes to handling, guys, right? Porsche knows what they're doing, by the way. And this car, it just feels right. You can feel everything when you're turning. You know where the wheels are at, and what's cool about it is they have these haunches here, so when you're on the driver's side, you know where your front wheels are at, which is awesome, especially when it comes to handling. So I'm gonna have to give that to Porsche real quick, specifically around handling. This car hides is how big the car is, basically, but it's the size of a Tesla Model S, guys. The other car that uses the same chassis, believe it or not, is the Audi GT, and it uses the same underpinnings as this car. Porsche actually sold the ingredients of that to Audi, even though they're under the same umbrella, so they could use the same architecture. But it is quite a big car. It fits 4 people perfectly. It is a 4-door sedan, 4 doors. The tires in the back, these are 21 optional wheels on front and back, 6-piston front brakes, and the tires in the back, guys, are 305s, and they're massive. I think the other car that had wide tires like that was, again, my old GT500 and also my Camaro ZL1 1LE. I can't remember, but I think they were wider than 305s. I think they were maybe 325s. But overall, the car has a nice, slick, very pretty, right, and elegant look. Actually, where the charging mechanism of the car has a couple of flaps in it, and it has it on both sides of the vehicle. If you're not familiar with electric vehicles, there's a level 1, level 2, and level 3. What you see back there on my wall is actually have a Tesla wall charger with an adapter to be able to use it on my Porsche Taycan. And it charges roughly at around 30 miles an hour, that level 2. It's a 50 amp breaker I have there. So it does pretty well, especially if you're gonna be, sitting with it overnight, you park and you get it from home, it'll be fully charged in the morning. There's also a level 1 that the car comes, because the car does come with the front, and we're gonna go over that in a bit right now. But it's called level 1. It charges around 3 to 5 miles, guys. That's gonna be tough if you're buying this car and just trying to use a level 1. My recommendation is you wanna be using a level 2 at your house installed with a 240-watt outlet for sure. It's kind of like the one that you use for your dryer vent. The big 240, and that'll charge this car again around 20 plus miles, depending on the amp you have installed in your actual breaker. But overall, when you look at the car and you look at the lines, the car just, again, everything is well put together. There's no noises, no creaks. It's a Porsche, guys, right? And so it is extremely refined. Let me give you guys a different aspect and a different view of the front so you guys can see some of the gadget this car comes from. But as long as you have your key, like any other modern car today, you can actually get in the car, sit down, and it actually recognizes you. I guess it knows your weight, and it adjusts everything towards your driving profile. But one thing I'm going to show you is the car is currently locked. It did the little chirp right now. And there's a little gimmicky thing is about the slide of the hand to open up the front. Porsche, and you wipe your hand here. you guys can see that the front opened up just by a wipe of the hand. Front's not that big, guys. I would say you're talking about a small little suitcase. It's about maybe a foot deep. You'll see this right here. I have the key in my pocket. If I press here, it would lock the car completely. Again, the front's still open. I'll close that. But as I approach the key and I just put my hand underneath, the car recognizes me. You can see that the doors literally open up a little bit. The other thing you're going to notice is that the car is extremely low. It's hard to put into person, but it's a very low car. Seats are extremely comfortable. You have, I think it's 14 or 18. I think it's 14 passenger and driver. You have a little storage bin there. You have a couple of cup holders, full ambient lighting, LED lights, of course, full panoramic. You got the embossed Porsche logo on the seats, heated and cooled seats. It has 4 digital displays. And let me sit down in the car so you guys can see them. Because when you sit in here, the screen will recognize it here. Wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Again, 4 display, you have this one. What's cool about this one is, sometimes you might be driving and you can, check the weather. And Porsche's been working on this to make sure it's a lot more refined. It is pretty chilly here in Houston today, and it's quite rainy. A lot of rain we're getting here, but we're finally gonna get a little break of sun. But what's cool is your passenger can actually, you ever been on a road trip, they can actually put the navigation on there for you specifically on the car. Everything's controlled here. Your climate, your heated and cooled seats, you can sync, you can open, you can see the battery range. So everything is very, very, driver centric. A little bit of storage here, not too much. Again, you got the ambient lighting around here. It's hard to see it right now, but a lot of ambient lighting. You guys can see the rear seats with the double chalk is what they call it. This interior is called a chalk interior. Very, very, very comfortable. Again, everything is leather. All this is leather. You guys can see the stitching in here, double stitching here, all leather. The door dash, all this right here, leather. Everything is leather, extremely refined. Again, Porsche knocked it out of the park. And again, here's the digital display. Let me get out of the car. Bose system, nice Bose system. You can get upgraded sound system on the car for sure. Again, I'm 6 feet tall. Let me go to the back of the seat so you guys can see kind of where I was at sitting. And let me go back over here so you guys can get a pulse. And now I'm sitting in the back. Again, 6 feet tall, and you guys can see I have maybe 3.5 inches of leg room. My head is tapping just a little bit, not much. But if I lean back just a little bit and give myself less leg room by leaning back a little bit, plenty of leg room, easy. I mean, this is more, to be fair, for kids. There you go. You can see some of the ambient back here because it's a little darker. But everything in the back, still high quality, right? Leather. One touch up, one touch down. The speakers, I think it's a 14 speaker sound system. It has a whole surround sound. You got your rear vents, you got USB-Cs, and you guys can see the ambient lighting again down there in the footwells, and multicolors. I think it's up to 10, but it's pretty cool. Also, the way your headrest here actually kind of moves out depending on where you want your head to rest. But that's pretty much the inside of the car, guys. And you guys can see that cool little red light that comes across the board. You got the Porsche kind of embossed inside the actual rear tail lamp. You got a push start here to actually open up the hatch. This also, when you put it in range mode, because that's different, you have Sport, Sport Plus, Range, Normal. When you put it in range, this spoiler actually will lift at a specific angle, and it's all designed to give the car complete efficiency. The other thing that this does have is a gimmicky, you kind of kick it in the back with your foot. Go. Here's your little cargo. It has, again, the level 2, level 1 charger with an adapter. Underneath here, you have something to fix your tire flat. Let's see if we can pull it up here, and you guys can see some of the stuff, all the paperwork. Cool about the car is, again, it's used. It was a 2021. I had about 3,900 miles when that Porsche said. One owner had 2 keys, which is awesome. This also has the auto close when you press it. Going down to the driver's side, before I do that again, here's the other outlet so you can do the charging. Again, you guys can notice that this is a level 1. Let me go to the other side so you guys can see the difference. And this is level 2. And the way you know it's level 2 is because it has this little clip here for the larger charging mechanism. Typically, Electrify America, you can get pumped in at least a minimum of 200, kilowatts, which is awesome, up to, I think, 350. These cars can do 0 to 80% in about 18 minutes, so they're extremely fast charging. Wheels are gorgeous, 21-inch wheels, nice Brembo brakes. Thinking about potentially removing the wheels and painting the calipers yellow and then putting the Porsche black. Let me know what you guys think. Car does drive fairly low. Also notice a cool LED side marker here. That's such a cool little nice touch. Let me go to the back. And again, these are super wide. If I can get down underneath the car, it might give you a view of how wide these tires are. Let me close this down. In typical Porsche, what you want to do is when you close it, you don't slam it, you go right on the emblem and you press down right here, and the car will lock. Let me back up so you guys can see the front. One thing I will share with you, these are directional LED lights. And so what's cool about them is as you're driving at night, they will turn in the direction the car's turning. This is a full pass-through vent that goes through here, which comes through here, pushes air up through here, and ultimately will actually come out through here. One thing that this car will potentially pick up is rock chips. So Porsche installed this plastic kind of protectant, if you want to call it, straight from the factory. But that's pretty much it. Car already came with a nice tint. Here's a look at the driver's side. Full display. Again, it's a cool view. So far, really enjoying the car, guys. Again, I'll post more vlogs on it. I've had her for a week. I like to enjoy my cars for a couple of weeks before I do a full actual vlog on it, because sometimes, just don't do it justice within the first, couple of days. You're in your honeymoon phase. You kind of want the honeymoon phase to die out a little bit to get a good picture of the car. But overall, guys, really enjoying her. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Porsche's full electric vehicle 2021, and gets over-the-air updates similar to Tesla. And pretty cool looking car, man. It's so futuristic. It makes a cool sound too as you drive it, almost like a Jetsons whirring sound. It's kind of weird, but it's cool at the same time. I can turn it off or turn it on. It is an option for Porsche. Everything is optioned out, by the way. This car was about, originally, again, the person that bought it, the MSRP on this car was about $89,000. The options on this car was almost close to $30,000, guys. Is that incredible? So Porsche tends to option out every little thing you can see on the car, including that roof that you saw at the top, the heated and cooled seats, the fourth screen on the passenger. I mean, I can just go on and on with the amount of options this car has. Okay, guys, appreciate it. Again, thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts. Peace.